Greetings. Joseph Kursky here with you to talk about what is georeferencing and also how to georeference an image in ArcGIS and then how to serve up or publish that georeferenced image inside ArcGIS Online. In the previous two videos of this series, I explained how I georeferenced this historical map and got it into a known coordinate space. So that's the first two videos. In this video, I want to show you how to share this map into ArcGIS Online. Why would you want to do that? Well, so that you can collaborate and you can have other people look at it. It's important to know what each one of these types of sharing does. So pay attention to the help files and look at what's the difference between sharing the project, sharing a map, sharing a layer, sharing a web map, sharing a web layer. And we're going to go into a couple of these here in this video, but not all of them. So I encourage you to take a look at the help files. The documentation is very good in terms of what you can actually share and what the differences each one of these sharing tools actually makes in your final output. There's also sharing a map file and a layer file. There's all kinds of ways to share things because we want to collaborate. We're going to go ahead and share as a web map, and I'm going to give it some metadata. I'm going to turn off my base map because I don't want to share that for sure. I want to share the other layers in here. As I share the web map, I'm going to give it some metadata. Why do we pay attention to that? Well, so other people can actually make sense of what we're sharing, right? You want to be able to get other people's information, and conversely, when you're creating information, you want to be able to provide that same service to other potential users of your data. So I'm giving it a name, a summary, some tags. Now it's important to note that if you save it as a web map, you're going to get multiple layers of data in your final map in ArcGIS Online. And similarly, if you share as a web layer, you're going to get, as it says here, map 1, you're going to get all of those things inside your final map. Even though I say tile here, and I think I'm only exporting or sharing the tile, no, I'm actually, as you'll see here in a moment, going to be sharing inadvertently all of the layers inside this particular map, which is called map 1. And because I've shared it as a tile, those other things actually won't be able to be displayed inside my ArcGIS Online account. So if I go to my account where I've shared this to and I look at the data, it looks like it's the right extent, but none of the layers actually show up. So the point is, know what you're sharing and understand the differences between all of the sharing options inside ArcGIS Pro. So what I really want to do here in this case, in this example, is either put that geo-registered or geo-referenced image in its own map, or right-click on the map in the table of contents in map 1. So in this case, I'm doing example A. I'm putting the layer of my geo-referenced image inside its own map without any base map information, and I'm going to share that as a tile and publish that. But again, method 2 is right-click your layer and share that inside map 1. Here we go, share as layer file. So you can right-click on a layer inside an existing map and just share that. Either way, you're going to get the same result. You're just going to get that geo-registered, geo-rectified image, and I have it as a tile layer inside my ArcGIS Online organizational account, and here it is. Nice. It's all registered because in previous videos I showed you how to georeference that against a known base map. Now I'm going to be able to look at change over space and time either by clicking on and clicking off of that image, or conversely using the transparency tool. And I'm saving that map right now. I'm going to put some metadata in there, some tags, a title, a summary. I'm going to change the base map to a satellite image and make it a little bit transparent so I can see the differences and see the building footprints as they existed in 1910-ish when the map was published versus today. And I'm going to share that. And now I'm going to go ahead and create a web mapping application. Ooh, what about a swipe map? That way I can do something else besides clicking on and off the layers, and besides making them transparent, I can actually use a swipe tool. It's kind of like a big squeegee that goes across the map. I'm sure you've seen some of these. And I'm going to select the vertical bar type of swipe map, the buttons and the legends and things that you want to show up. And there we go. We've got our image inside ArcGIS Online as a web mapping application. In this case, a swipe map. Very nice. Easy to do, as you can see. Notice that the historical image has two characteristics. It's useful, but it is blurry when you zoom in, and also it disappears at a certain scale. We're going to rectify that here in a moment. But I'm sharing my story so other people can look at it, and of course, I'm going to be able to provide some metadata there in ArcGIS Online for that new image that I've shared. The way to get around that issue that I was talking about earlier with the blurriness is to go into the configuration when you're sharing a web layer. And you can see how I'm adjusting the minimum and maximum scale. Now, be careful here because you don't want to go from, if you've got a huge image, you don't want to go to the 1 to 100 scale, for example. You're going to be creating massive amounts of tiles. So be sensitive to the tiles, and it'll show you what exactly you're creating and how much in terms of disk space it'll take up. But now if I do that, I'm going to be able to see that image inside ArcGIS Online. And there it is. See, it's a much higher resolution now than it was before. And now I really can see the building footprints over a 110-year period. Oh, this is just fascinating to be able to do this. And thanks to Sanborn for having these historical maps that we could scan. Well, thanks to the Penn State Library that they scanned and put in here. This is just grand. Thanks to multiple organizations. Here's a spyglass type of a web mapping application. Lets you sort of with a microscope effect look through time. In this case, you could also look through themes, for example, land use and land cover. But thanks to Sanborn, thanks to Penn State Library, thanks to Esri for providing these tools. And I'm going to go ahead and publish this map here with a base map. And I want to see what the create a swipe map. It's all under the save as, and you create a web mapping application. Let's go ahead and see these new configurations that I've got. Ah, nice. Look at that. I've got a high resolution historical image there and a modern day satellite image. Here's what we've covered in these 3 videos, folks. What is georeferencing? Remember, it's about attaching real-world coordinates to a data that has no coordinate system attached to it. We've also covered how can I georeference an image or a map in ArcGIS Pro. And then in this video, we've covered how can I serve my georeferenced image then in ArcGIS Online so other people can view it and analyze it and so on. That's what we've covered. I hope it's been useful. Thanks, and get out there and make some maps and do spatial analysis.